So let's do a little pointing. Some pointing towards the undivided. The undivided I'm going to call what is. Simply isness. There's a lot of discussion and I guess debate in spirituality as far as, are we one? Are there many of us and we're all connected? Or there's no one here, or it's all an illusion, or there's the absolute and there's the relative. There's a duality there between the two. And what I'd like to point towards here is the undivided. And not just the concept of the undivided, but kind of point to how the undivided is everywhere. And so what I'm going to call the undivided here is simply isness. Right now, take a look. Everything around you, whether there's a computer or a book or the air, everything that you look at, you can say, it is. Everything is. My thoughts are. Not they are something as opposed to something else, simply a thought is. Enlightenment is. Unenlightenment is. The absolute is. The relative is. The individual is. The one is. We can talk about the individual, and then we can go into a whole debate of, is there an individual? Should we cling to one? Fear of losing the individual, improving the individual, or there's the one, and we can talk about the one is everything, or everything is the one and everything is connected, or, it's so many ways to divide. So many ways to divide. And all of these concepts, these pointers, they can become, ironically, ways to divide. Absolute versus the relative. The individual versus the one. Everything versus nothing. The infinite versus nothingness. Dividing, dividing, dividing. How about if we just say everything is. The infinite is. The one is. Understanding is. Not understanding is. Everything is. To the mind, this may or may not make sense. Probably not, just to say something is. Just recognize the mind too is. Everything simply is. Very, very simple. Almost simpler than you'd think. To be enlightened is. To not be enlightened is. It's kind of falling back into the source. Enlightened, unenlightened. Duality that falls away. Absolute versus relative. Duality falls away. It's falling back into the source of isness. Everything that is. Everything that is not is. Existence is. Non-existence is. Every single concept that anybody has ever thought or ever will think is. I'm not talking about any one particular concept, because even the concept itself is. Every concept equally is. What we're pointing to here is kind of falling back, away from any ideas of individuals or the one or the infinite, to just this isness, this life itself, this aliveness. Everything is life. Just kind of feel it more than you think it. Recognize it. See it. It's just everything is. And when you see that everything is, there's nothing to do. Making things better is. Not doing anything is. It's seeing isness everywhere. Everything is that. You are that. Some people call it presence. Some people call it aliveness. Some people call it being. For this video, I'm choosing to call it isness. Everything is. Spiritual seeking is. The end of seeking is. Awakening is. Being totally asleep is. nothing to get, nothing to understand, nothing to find, because everything already is that. Everything. Everything is. So simple. Nothing else to do. Enlightened or unenlightened, I don't know. Whatever it is that I am, I am. In this recognition, the seeking collapses. Not because it's invalidated, but it's seen that the seeking too is. And when the seeking itself is seen to be part of the totality and not separate from it, and that there's really nothing to seek, seeking or not seeking, the whole thing just poof. Enlightenment, the whole idea of enlightenment falls away. There's just this isness. You can point to it. You can even say there's a concept called isness, and we try to understand isness, right? And yet even that too is. So simple. So simple.